Hey everybody, I am on for the midweek message reveal for August 31st. Happy almost September, everyone. We do have some movement with energies and planets. Mercury has moved into Libra, and Libra, being the halfway point in the zodiac, really wants to balance, wants to keep things fair, even. Libras are the counselors, the psychiatrists, psychologists, the really interested in the inner workings of social situations. And Mercury being a communication planet that's really intense and really wants to express and share and describe and make heard, make seen the details. So you may be feeling like there's more talk about relationships and beautiful things and wanting to surround yourself in beauty, wanting to have more social interaction, wanting to create something that is for the sake of it being a creative process, but also for it to express the beauty of something that comes from a joyful, soulful place. So that energy can be kind of pressing a little bit, maybe pushing to have more conversations than maybe is necessary. You may find yourself over-explaining. There also is a vibe of the negative side of it, where because there's always a positive and a negative. The negative being that maybe looking a bit more outward for validation from other people because of the desire to want to create balance. Sometimes when we're uncomfortable, what we end up doing is kind of overcompensating in order to make up, in order to get everybody on this balanced level. And that's not necessarily your job. So just be aware of that. Okay. We have a full moon in Pisces on the 10th. Really watery, fantastic stuff coming up. We do still have Venus in Leo. So all of that shiny, bright, lovely connectivity is kind of moving into this beautiful time of Mercury in Libra, adding just a little bit more class, a little more flash. Who doesn't love that? Okay, so let's jump in the cards. All right, if you chose one, your card is Deer. Look at these lovelies. I'm drawn to the light points that are in the antlers. I feel that what's happening here, one, is that you've had an experience that has been kind of a long time coming. Like you're slowly moving along these processes. When is this going to be done? So where is the resolve? When is this loose end that seems to never end be tied up? So there's a sense of just feeling overall fatigue and just kind of over it, bottom line. But the message here is, and on the card it says, trust in the support of the universe. This is all about what needs to happen in order for you to get through to the end of this thing that's been kind of sucking you dry. That's been maybe on loop. I've talked about this before, I believe the other week, where it's you may be having this with another person. You may be having a similar situation that you had in the past with someone else, and it's very deja vu-ish. But at the same time, it's still making you feel like you haven't moved anywhere. So first, let's take a moment and let's acknowledge the fact that you're not the only piece on the chessboard, right? So when things need to happen in divine timing, when you trust that when things come to you, they're going to come to you as at the most perfect point for you to receive them for your highest good, right? Then you're more open and you're not trying to control the situation. So there are things that need to happen in order for divine timing to show up. Like this is going to orchestrate several people. I mean, these are some pretty awesome beings and, amazing ascended masters and angels and people in spirit that are all working this stuff on the other side for us. But it's still human life. So things take time, as you know, and stuff happens. and everyone's got their people, and everybody's team's just all trying to make things work out for you. So first, have some trust, be a little bit patient here, and take a moment and maybe look at the last 6 months where you have grown, where you've changed, where you've had wins. When you don't feel like there's an end to something and that you're stuck in the middle of it, you don't see the progress because you're so focused on the finish. Stay in the moment. It'll resolve on its own better than you think. Feeling a lot of pinching in the left shoulder. So offload some of this. Allow yourself to accept help. Allow yourself to accept abundance. Allow yourself to accept love and even like affection from others. Let yourself be complimented. Lean a little bit more into that. And that will take you to a place where you're so joyful and so in your own space, in your own energy, and dig in yourself that the issue itself will resolve because you're over it literally, like you're past it. You've moved on to something else and you're turning and making a choice. Okay, so that's what's up with 1. 2, hedgehog. Let me get one. Come on, camera. There we go. Look at this sweetie. So Archangel Gabriel, tying in a bit with the messenger, with Mercury, there's a lot to be said here. And what I'm feeling for 2 is that there's just a lot of frustration. So similar to 1 in a like, when will this be over kind of thing. But this is more having to do with groups. People are kind of setting you off too. There's a lot of eking in of stuff that you don't want to participate in and you don't want to care about, and you find yourself getting wrapped up in drama. And the wrapping up in the drama is something that is a pattern program that has just kind of run in the background, where your nervous system is kind of attached to the highs and lows, right? So when we're kids and we don't know how to, regulate ourselves, it kind of goes to default on whatever you can kind of grasp onto and be like, okay, well, this works. So drama is intriguing because it allows us to have a voice. It allows us to be heard. Gossip and things like that, or complaining. I mean, it's life. It's human nature. It's living in this time. Like, we have lots of things to talk about, lots of things to complain about. And at the same time, it's kind of futile. So pay attention to the energy that you're kind of expelling in areas that aren't really serving you, because you can direct that in a different way. And when I was talking about the nervous system, it's almost like you get kind of hooked on the, ooh, did you hear this? Or, wow, I can't believe they did that. Or, let me tell you about, how they did this to me, kind of thing. And see why that's coming at you that way, because you're projecting that. That's you. So where is the aggression that you need to kind of connect to there? Okay. And the message here, be a magnet for light, love, and joy. Bring that in. I'm really drawn to the orbs. So feeling a lot in the forehead, right in the front, almost like a stress headache, where it kind of goes like a band across the front of the head, except not with the back. I'm really feeling that there's some stress that's really coming up around not getting enough rest, not having enough downtime, and maybe I'm even seeing to like staying up later even though you're tired, because you just don't have any time for yourself. Like, you don't have that decompression time. So 2, I would suggest that you look into some sort of practice that gives you either more time. Maybe you need to get up a little earlier so you have a slow wake up. I love me a slow wake up. Fantastic. That's the best. I digress. Something that kind of gives you a chance to tap into you time, to where you can sit there and be quiet. You could sit there and maybe write. You could listen to music and dance. You could do whatever you want. Go take a bath. But something that allows you to kind of decompress so you can get the day away from you because you're tired. Like, go to bed. Okay. That's the message too. Go to bed. All right, 3. Group 3. This is your card, Whale. I want to say this, the last time I used this deck, that this was one of the main cards. I want to say it was the 3rd one. I'm really drawn to the colors here that are under the whale, the yellow and the green. So solar plexus and the heart chakra. So a sense of compassion and love and connectivity with everything that is everything. And the knowledge and the knowing that you get to be part of it and you are worthy of all of the things that said thing that you are is part of. Ooh, that went real big. Did you follow me on that one? Like a whale. Ooh, wow. See how I'm tying this all in? Really though, this has to do with emotional depth. This has to do with emotional intelligence. This has to do with emotional safety. Those are like the 3 biggies that's happening here for 3. So Whale says, live as a fully conscious being with Archangel Mary. So yes, there's compassion that's coming in for the self, but a lot of this is kind of like a squeeze. This is real deep. There's some real deep diving that's happening with 3. There's emotional purging that's happening. You may be having kind of just random waves of emotion come over you, whether that be happy, where you get hyper for 15 minutes out of nowhere, or maybe you get really, really tired or really even kind of like quiet. And you're kind of riding the up and downs. This emotional purge is cleansing you of old shit, timelines, programs, other people's expectations, and all the stuff that gets projected and put on you. All of that gets offloaded. So in order for it to get offloaded, you kind of have to feel your feelings and let that out. So stop being so stubborn about this. I feel like either 3 is kind of like making themselves feel bad for feeling feelings. Maybe feeling like weak. I am getting like a ping like in the solar plexus here, and a little bit that's going up into the breastbone. So there's just like a sense of anxiety, but almost like uncomfortability. It's not so much that it's anxious. It's just like, I just don't feel comfortable in the body. And a lot of times that gets you to a point where you're so irritated that you want to weep or you want to rage or whatever. Safely follow that urge is the guidance, okay? So don't think about it before you do it. But give yourself some space. Let yourself go and do something that expresses the emotion if you feel like you are more extroverted and feeling that action that you want to go and say that you went and did this. Otherwise, if you're feeling more inward, this would be a good time for you to sit, work on breath work on some meditation and some ways in which you can kind of calm yourself so you can get into a state where this emotional off-putting, this emotional purging, this letting go, it does feel like grief in a way too, because you're kind of shedding old you. Sorry, I'm going a little different here. Just kind of moving over to the side, the different strain. There's just a disconnect that's kind of happened. And the disconnect really feels, there's almost like a sadness because you're saying goodbye to parts of you that no longer serve, but that doesn't mean that those pieces of you weren't you too. And there's almost a knowing, and this is going to get extra, that future you is paying attention to you right now because there are parts of you as we speak that will be let go in the future. So this really is time for you to really connect with yourself in a way that honors the yous that have been and will be, and send them love, send them energy, because that's what's needed. Okay, so those are the messages for this week. If you are interested in a reading with me, please check my link. Would love it if you would share this, and please let me know. I love your feedback. I look forward to hearing from you. Bye.